On this episode of Running Deep with the Valley, the crew traveled to Central Illinois for a doubleheader featuring a pair of nationally televised contests. The first stop was Bradley University, where the Braves were taking on the Salukis of Southern Illinois. It was a big day for the athletic department as they recognized 4 new inductees into the Bradley Athletics Hall of Fame, including Peoria native and All-MVC basketball player Daniel Ruffin. We spoke to Daniel at the game about being honored by the program.
You know, actually growing up, I didn't really think this would even be a possibility. You know, I've always been undersized. I've always been kind of like the underdog. So just having this opportunity to be inducted into the Bradley Hall of Fame, it's an honor, and I appreciate it. I want to thank the fans and the committee that pushed for me to be a part of this. And the words, I can't even express, how I'm feeling right now, but I'm definitely excited, and I definitely appreciate the program, and always going to be a Brave. So.
The Braves led by as many as 10 points in the game, but 3 SIU players posted double-digit scoring efforts in the second half to help the Salukis earn a 4-point road win. Next, we went down the road to Redbird Arena for a late-night showdown between the Birds and the Ramblers of Loyola. It was a busy day around the building as the department expected one of the season's largest crowds, and celebrations were underway for the voice of the Redbirds, Dick Luedke, as he marked his 1,000th game on the mic. We got a chance to speak with Dick before the game began about working in this conference and his love for the community of Bloomington Normal.
I'm the 4th guy in the league to work his 1,000th game. Art Haynes at Missouri State, Dave Snell at Bradley, Mike Reese at Southern all have already done their 1,000th game. It's amazing how many play-by-play radio guys in this league have been around for that long. But it's a tight fraternity. I mean, we really enjoy one another, enjoy being with one another. It's a great group of guys, and I have I think become a better broadcaster because I've listened to them and learned from them, and I think they would tell you they've listened to other guys around the league and learned from them as well. The interest here in college basketball is so rabid. It was even greater when I first came, which was back in 1981, a long, long time ago. But it's still so much better than the average school, especially at this level, at what's called the mid-major level. Fans are really into it, and that's why they hired me to explain to them what's happening in each and every game that they can't be at. And so I love this community. I went to the University of Minnesota. I have virtually no interest anymore in their men's basketball program. It's all about the Redbirds for me, and it's about the Missouri Valley. I love seeing other Missouri Valley schools do well in the postseason. Watching Porter's Loyola Ramblers last year was ecstasy.
The expectations for crowd size were exceeded as more than 8,100 fans filed into the building. Much of that crowd was made up of ISU students who were able to pick up free tickets thanks to some generous donors and free pizza, courtesy of head coach Dan Muller. We spoke to Sean Johnson, the Assistant Athletic Director for Development, about the effort.
So this is something we've had in the past where, people really care about this place, and our donors are incredibly generous. And, I played college basketball, and they've been around the atmosphere, and, people have seen that students make all the difference in the world. And it is a really fun place to be when it's really loud. And, our tickets are $5, and for a college student, sometimes that's an objection. And so we try to get away from all those objections. And so I had a donor reach out and ask if he could buy the first 100. And, when he did that, it kind of got the wheels turning where I just reached out to a few more people. And truthfully, I only asked 2 other people. We got to 250, 300, and I put on my social media and said, here's where we're at, and it blew up. we had people from Virginia to Colorado, people who have never donated here, people who played here. We had, I think it ended up being 11 people reach out, and we ended up having 1,000 student tickets purchased. So it kind of got a life of its own from the first person who reached out from the 100, and it just kind of took off from there because that's what it's like here. People just care about the basketball program and want it to do well.
The home crowd was loud all night as Illinois State looked to avenge an early season loss to the Ramblers. Leading by as many as 16 points in the final minutes of the game, the Redbirds mimicked the energy of the building en route to their 14th win of the season. On the next episode, we'll be back at Redbird Arena to get our first look at the Valparaiso Crusaders before we check out some more women's basketball action between the conference leading Missouri State Lady Bears and Southern Illinois.